Send Out Success Team, Jackie Ulmer here, and I wanted to put together my short video for you to show you how I actually go about scheduling my calendar and keeping track of what I do on a daily basis. Now, I'm a big believer if it's not in the calendar, it's not going to happen. And so I really believe in writing out my weekly plan on Sunday evenings and my daily action plan the night before the day that I'm going to be doing it. And I still use a very old-fashioned day timer. Nothing special. It is a Franklin Covey, but it's kind of the smaller version. But you'll see here, this for instance is this week, right here of things. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You'll see I've got lots of details in there. If you notice here, I've got time slotted off where I actually do calls. That's where I have that time blocked off where I make the calls that I need to make or do accountability calls, etc. Because again, if it's not in the calendar, it's not going to get done. So it's important to me that I'm always doing a couple of things in my business. Number one, it's important to me that I'm always contacting new people, sharing the products and sharing the opportunity, having them do a gift account walkthrough, having them actually send a card, and then sharing the opportunity with them. I always want to be calling new people about that. So I make sure that that gets blocked off in my calendar each day, the time slots that I'm going to do that. Now, if I find extra pockets of time during the day, I can actually call additional people. But everything that I'm going to be working on for the day that I know of is blocked off in the calendar like that. And I also block off time for training, for shooting videos like this, for doing my social media work, for doing blog posting, etc. But that's another category. And then, as I mentioned, I use a simple notebook. The one I'm using right now is actually an old one that my daughter never finished using. I just grabbed it out of our file that we keep school supplies in. I just grabbed it and started writing. So just as an example, you're gonna laugh, you can't really even read my writing here, but for instance, this is one day in here. So this right out here, I put the date. This is the 27th of February, and these are the calls that I made for that day, and it actually goes, yeah, it goes all the way down this page. Some of these were calls to new prospects. Some of these were calls to team members. Some of these were follow-up calls. And all I just did was I put the name in. I put a little note. You can see my terrible writing. I'm losing a page out of my notebook here. I put the name. I put what type of contact it was, and maybe just something really brief about what the conversation was about, how it went, if I just left a message, etc. Now, something else that I do, and I know this sounds like maybe I'm doubling up a lot, but believe me, it works for me. I create a Word document of every lead who I talk to. This is actually January's, and you'll notice I didn't have a whole lot of new prospects for January, and the biggest reason is because we went to Recruiting Mastery the first week, and when I came home, I started making a whole lot of follow-up phone calls to new people. So I only had just a handful. I had less than 30 new prospects for that month. But as you'll note in here, you'll see the color coordinating. The red are the notes that I take. Green are people who actually signed up to become distributors. So I highlight them like that, and then at the end of the month, I just print this off. This goes in my calendar. So this will be January of 2012. Now, I've mentioned before that I print my card history. So for instance, this is my card history right here that I printed for, this is the 15th through the 21st of February. I mailed out 15 cards. That's kind of low for me, actually. I mailed out 15 cards, and you'll notice here I just put a slash. These are the ones that are just heartfelt cards that I'm not going to necessarily follow up on. And then I put a little notation out here if I've left a message, if I had a phone conversation, and then what happened. And you'll see here I have 2 people who signed up. I had one who was a customer, and actually a third one on the back here of that week who signed up as well. So I print this card history out, and this is what's going to go ultimately along with this sheet. Okay, my leads for the month of January. This is, I've got these kind of doubled up, and then I just have a simple notebook. I just have a simple notebook here. Have a card in it, SOC news, and in it you'll see that I have a bunch of stuff in here, things I'm working on. This is where I put in business cards. These are Lake Arrowhead contacts, actually locally, so I can get to those quickly. This is part of my ongoing list, and then you'll see here I have this sorted by calendar month. These tabs are calendar month. So for January, I'm just going to put in, here's my card history. I haven't filed my lead sheet in yet. I haven't filed this sheet in yet because I'm actually still working on this, doing follow-up calls. But ultimately, this will all go in my notebook under January. So I can quickly look back. I can scan here my card history, cards that I sent, etc. Moving over to February, when I'm doing networking events, which I haven't been since Recruiting Mastery, but for instance, this was in April of last year. These are contacts that I made in April of last year. Okay, the business cards, etc. I keep them in there. I can put sometimes I put sticky notes on the card, make notes on them, etc. And that's, kind of how it plays out. So that's really it. It's very simple. This notebook, I can grab this and go. So if I'm at a kids event or if I'm traveling out of town or doing anything, I can either take the whole notebook with me or I can pull it out by section. I can pull out all my January leads and my card history and see who I've dealt with. I can put those in just a small folder and go. So that's kind of how I do tracking. That's how I create my day-to-day, what I'm doing. Again, I'm a huge advocate of using my day timer, making sure that information is plotted in. It's like they say, your calendar tells a story. If your calendar has events in it, this was my birthday coming back from Hawaii. So if your calendar is full and has different things in it, you can tell what your results are going to be based on that. So Jackie Ulmer, and hopefully that helps you. Any questions that you have, I would love to get those answered. Have a great day. Thanks.